Hey everybody, Brian Von VA back at it again with another set of D&D stories. Today, we're going to be talking about what are the best running jokes in your D&D campaign. If you got a running gag or a goof or a gaff, leave it in the comments below, ladies and gents. This story is about how a mainstay reoccurring magic item in one of my games came to be. The group had made their way into a planar bazaar looking around at all the wondrous items for sale from the far corners of the plains. One member of the group, Dobby, wandered off from the party, amazed at all the things that could be purchased. He found himself in front of a little street vendor with a sign that read, Mal-aligned Magical Marvels. Mal, the owner, looked at the boy and told him that all the items for sale were cursed versions of magic items, because even cursed magic is still magic and quite useful. The player was very impulsive. He'd lost a hand trying to grope a drow assassin at a bar earlier in the campaign, so Mal was my kind of warning NPC to not really trifle with cursed magic items, but also to show that even those can still be useful with creative thinking. He really wanted to know what was in the vendor stall even with Mal's warning, so I rolled up a little list for him after he begged me to. Oh, please show me. One of the items caught his interest. A Jinn's Lamp of the Pit. It held an abyssal Ifrit imprisoned inside it. He had the money, so he decided to buy it. Then he hid himself away from the party since the paladin really wouldn't have approved of the item and summoned the Ifrit. The Ifrit told him that if he broke the lamp and free him, he would grant him one wish. And feeling generous today, he would grant his actual wish rather than twist his words and trick him. But he did warn him, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Dobby, of course, agreed, and even after Mal told him multiple times to not trust the Ifrit, he smashed the lamp. As soon as the Ifrit was freed, he turned to the lad and said, I will honor our agreement, little one. What is it that you wish? Dobby replied without hesitation, Dobby wishes to be omnipresent. The Ifrit said, whoa, okay, let's take a step back. Omnipresent? How about I give you a way to summon? Dobby immediately cut him off and said, no, Dobby wants to be omnipresent. I want to be everywhere at once. Dobby does. The Ifrit said, are you sure? There's only one way to do that, and I don't think you'll like it. Dobby replies, yes, Dobby wants omnipresence. The Ifrit, with curiosity I'm sure running through his mind, says, last chance to change your mind, kid. Do it now, Dobby says. So, the Ifrit granted the wish. Dobby felt himself growing and getting lighter. When Dobby looked at his hands, he saw they were starting to dissipate into the air, as was the rest of him. The party came around the corner just in time to see Dobby fully dematerialize and merge with the air, as well as realize that Dobby is now also the air because they could smell him everywhere. Just before he teleported away, they heard the abyssal Ifrit say, I warned him about being careful with wishes. The party immediately asked Mal what happened, and she told them the story. They asked her if there was a way to fix it, and she said there were two ways. Either with very powerful magic that she didn't have access to and they didn't have money for, or by distilling him out of the air over time. They chose the latter. Fast forward to another game, same players, different campaign. They make their way into another planar traveling bazaar looking for a particular item that can't be found normally in street shops and come across a closed street vendor stand. The owner had been killed in a dispute, so they decide to help the constable look for clues. The player of the late Dobby comes across a crate labeled 3M Sundries and opens it up to find an iron flask with the words concentrated distilled air on it. He opened the top and I looked at him and said, you hear a tiny voice call out from inside saying, help me, Ifrits suck. And that's how the bottle of Dobby came to be a reoccurring magic item in my games still to this day. That's actually a wonderful idea. Somebody out there better steal it. Loss of legs. There's some bad jokes here. We've had multiple characters lose their legs, whether permanently or temporarily, to the point where it's become a joke that the DM will harvest everyone's legs by the time the campaign is over with. Every single NPC is named Jeff or some version of Jeff until either it sticks or the DM thinks of a better name. We named the Shield Guardian Jeff, met an NPC Ewok in a Star Wars game who we nicknamed Jeff, Grizzled Ewok Friend. New sorcerer with no introduction? Don't worry, he's Jeff now. We even call the bad guys Jeff until they're properly introduced. There's no reason why, but we've been doing this for so long, we're even starting to name our actual characters Jeff sometimes. I mean, to be fair, back in the day when I played with the MrRipper crew on stream with two D&D campaigns, my character was named Greg with 2 G's, while the other narrator was called Greg with 1. A friend and I run games for each other, and in our games, it's become a running gag that for whatever reason, our characters always seem to fail perception checks, unless we state in character that they're putting on their glasses before rolling. I started with my character Zulrah, and it's continued through every campaign since. If we do roll a perception check and fail, it's just become accepted practice that we're allowed to then say in character something along the lines of, "Whoops, forgot my glasses, can't see anything without them," and roll again. In one bit of art I have where my characters are wandering around a tabletop game board as minis, Zulrah is looking at her D&D Beyond character sheet on a phone laying on the table, and has to put glasses on to read it. We gotta see that artwork. I want that artwork, baby. Hey, does Warhammer count? Because if so, mine would be that one of my players is being helped out by Tiznect. I hope I said that correctly. One of the 4 Chaos Gods. That's how I justify helping a lot. Okay, look, Warhammer, great stuff. Send us more stories for it. We love it. Did he by chance cast the 8th level spell Glibness? My tiefling sorcerer once set herself on fire and nearly died. Until the end of the campaign, her theme song was "My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark" by Fall Out Boy. I was gonna say Man on Fire, but hey, that works. The Cobalt getting eaten alive. Oh god. I joined late and it's happened twice in the good few sessions I've been there. What? It's even better because he has a fey arm that also eats magic and magic creatures sometimes. I have one that I'll probably never live down because it happened so consistently that we're even considering making merch based on it at some point. In the game I play Torxina in, the number of times she's ended up getting knocked prone is so high that the whole group has just taken to calling her Florxina. Her introduction to the group was her getting shoved through a portal, lying prone, and at 3 HP after watching the rest of her former party members get killed because they'd somehow been transported much deeper into the dungeon of the Mad Mage than they were supposed to have been able to reach at their level. Then it was the unseen servants dragging her away and tackling her. Then it was spiders webbing her while she was flying. Then it was failing the save on drow poison and going unconscious. That was just halfway through the first session. I've been with that group over a year, and even now at level 12 with the gauntlets of ogre power to bump her strength to 19, there's rarely a session where Torxina doesn't end up on the floor somehow, from getting knocked prone to being KO'd or even straight up power word killed. It's just a thing now. Not quite D&D, but if GURPS counts, hey, it counts. My characters have some vision advantage that stretches the GM's ability to describe the scene accurately. Example 1. Isla Dunbar, having blind sight that functions based on magic, allowing her to see things that others can't because they're magic, but not what everyone else can see. Example 2. Madeline Mathion, having an enhanced time sense, which means she can parse the world at a higher frame rate than the others around her. She sees things happening too fast for others to see. Bottled war crimes. Isn't that just Belle Delphine's ass gas? We once used an alchemist's fire in a war while exploding a gunpowder room from a distance. I shot it, and the powder room exploded, along with the entire camp surrounding it. It was horrifying and not expected. We were literal war criminals. But now every time I use them, I call them that. The warlock became known as the KoolAid Man because he kept KoolAid Man running through the walls. Oh yeah! Our DM gave a party member a flying carpet, which they used fairly often. And 9 times out of 10, the DM threw pigeons at them. There was talk about pigeon soup being the greatest food item in the world after they ran into thousands upon thousands of poor pigeons. Our tiefling character was always trying to romance my elf character so that they could marry her for tax benefits, because my character is the princess of a kingdom and likely to become the next ruler. The IOU. I once let a character buy a set of plate armor for their girlfriend on an IOU. He's never let me live it down since, and it's become a weird running gag. Okay, boomer. This one only lasted for a mini campaign, but we made a running gag out of one character saying that a lot, and then my character getting annoyed by it, like anyone would. A pile of oozes that the party has with the combined intelligence of a toddler and beats people at poker because a random roll on my items table. I would like to explode. This sounds like it could be taken out of very bad context, very bad indeed. One of my favorite running jokes is how one of my NPCs was a powerful wizard giving the party tasks, and every single time he showed up, they would try to steal his mug full of coffee. Every time it happened, they got stopped in a more ridiculous manner than the previous time, and it culminated in him effectively placing the party in a stasis field whenever he showed up. It's like, I paid good money for this coffee, you're not having a drop, but I really want to taste the cold brew. Cold brew this! We have a small running gag about a boy and his duck. That just made me chuckle. We are doing a pirate campaign and joined the secret pirate group hiding underneath an island. It's a pretty serious campaign. Anywho, I was goofing around on the Discord soundboard and ended up playing the duck quack. Yes, I love the duck quack. That's my favorite sound effect. Immediately, from the grace of the gods, the tavern owner's son, the tavern owner being one of the most notorious female pirates ever, now holds the pirate duck. Puddles! Yes! Every time we go into the tavern or that boy is walking around the town, there he is. Puddles, the all-knowing and all-quacking. Getting a tattoo? Puddles is there. Are you shopping? Puddles is there. Do you gotta take a poo, so you're using the loo? You betcha Puddles is walking by outside. Anyway, through a fluke of clicking a button, we have brought the all-powerful Puddles into our game. We need a whole short just based on Puddles. Give us more Puddles. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA. If you liked the video, if you love Puddles and need more Puddles in your life, please leave a comment down below, leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell. We love you all. Please be safe, be happy, and we will see all of you soon. Toodaloo, everybody.